Hi guys, so welcome to Campfire Confessions, which we decided to just do this little segment based on your questions and what you have been asking us.
So we're here in McCarthy. First, we want to start off by saying thank you to B and Kim. Your land is amazing. Thank you for allowing us to boondock here. This is just fantastic.
Yeah, they have 5 acres of land here in McCarthy, and they have this little, what they call a shed, which is in this like blue and sort of like green colors. But this shed is beautiful, and their plan is to build a yurt here. You guys, I'd be dying if I had a yurt here. This is beautiful, and so happy that we ran into you.
So we just met them. We're staring at mountains, we're listening to the river, we're hearing birds. This is a little piece of heaven.
Absolutely heaven. And it started to rain a little bit, and Jim and I have been going back and forth as to which way the clouds are going, so we decided to make this happen before it gets too late and starts pouring on us, because I think Jim was right. The clouds that are over there are starting to come this way. Blue sky is going that way. I give you credit for that. Okay, campfire questions. Campfire confessions. We're basing this based on what you have asked us on YouTube over the past, let's say, gosh, honestly, 2 weeks. We never expected our first walkthroughs of what we were trying to decide, first videos to ever go viral and go this big. Super shocked by that, you guys, because our original walkthroughs were simply based on what we were trying to decide, our personal lives and what we were going through and trying to buy that.
Yeah, we had no intention to buy this. So the biggest question everyone keeps asking us is, well, how did you finance it? How were you able to afford it? How could you buy this type of thing? Well, I hate to say it, we worked really, really hard to begin with.
Yeah.
We both had full-time jobs. We're not going to say what they are because of company policies, but we love our jobs. Both of us love our jobs, and I'm getting close to retirement, well, the retirement option, and so is she. So we have those options available to us when we decide to pull the trigger and do that, but right now we're just happy doing what we do. We also work part-time teaching at a local college, and we love that too. So we have no ambition to not do what we do, but you know, life is where it takes you, right? So we're happy right now.
We're incredibly happy right now, and like Jim just said, company policy will restrict us from telling you what we do full time. So if you ask us what we do for a living, we can't tell you. Let's just say that I travel, he works in an office, and we both teach on the side. Okay, and one of the things that we teach is business. So let's talk about that for a minute. How did we finance the Revel? How did this happen for us? We are not millionaires. We are middle class. We have kids. We have a house, but we have goals. And let's just say that probably about 3 years ago, we started to think about what are we going to do when all of our kids are out of the house? What are our dreams? What are our ambitions? What are the things that we love to do? The things that we love to do are outdoors. We have motorcycles. We love camping. These are things that we have in common that bond us together. And when you get to that point of empty nester syndrome, you have to think about what bonds you, what brings you together. So we started to talk about that a little bit. Jim was hardcore set on never having a motorhome, right? And you know, the thought of having a motorhome in Alaska, let's just be honest, the motorhome will sit in your driveway for probably at least 8 months out of the year. Okay, it will just sit there, it won't be used, you'll be making payments on it, you'll be wishing, gosh, what am I gonna do with this motorhome? You'll buy it, you'll sell it, it's just this whole like craziness. So let's go back to the finance. My perspective is, you have one life, you have a dream, go for that dream. Your dream is to frickin' buy a van, live in that van, travel the United States, go for it. But you have to have goals. And the number one thing with those goals is to have priorities. What are those goals? Priorities. Set them, right? You start by having small goals, and then you have larger goals. And let's say your small goals every day are to not buy Starbucks coffee, not eat out, not buy those stupid little simple things that you may not necessarily need. So we started doing that and paying off our debt. And it took us a good 2 years to pay down our debt in order to buy this. It literally, you guys, it's like buying a house. So if you have this dream of buying a house, what do? You pay off your debt, you establish good credit, and then you purchase what you want. We do have investments. We have rental properties. We have a house. We have cars. Our car is going to be paid off within a few months. So we had to determine that. With all honesty, we are going to be probably for the next 6 months or so, because we weren't expecting to buy so soon. We're young, you guys. You know, we've heard that from you. You're young, you're living your dream. How the heck how is this happening? Well, we have investment properties, we have our home, and we will be penny pinching for at least the next few months. That's honesty, right?
But not to the extent that we can't do anything.
Right.
We
still out
saved
here.
up to make our down payment. We made our down payment.
Yeah, so the down payment, you just keep this in mind. When you're purchasing something, again, it's like buying a house. When you're purchasing something like this, you have to have between 15 and 20% down in order to get a loan. Nobody is going to even look at you when you come to look at these things without having 15 to 20% down of the purchase price. So let's talk about the purchase price. We have been asked that a lot, and I'm going to tell you this. We aren't going to tell you the bottom line, because the bottom line depends on where you're located, how much do you want it, and the dealership. Okay, so how much is that dealership willing to let that vehicle go based on all the interest that they have from other people? How interested are you in purchasing that vehicle? When is the next one going to come out? When is the new one going to come out? How patient are you? So when it comes to the bottom line, it's actually not the question to ask people like us, because we could tell you the bottom line. You may not get that from another dealership. We got a smoking deal based on the dealership knowing that this was one of their last models, they were getting more in, and that we were not incredibly eager to buy a Revel. We were just looking. We literally went to Eugene to look. So when it came to purchasing and the bottom line, we got a good deal. And we could tell you what that deal is, but if we tell you that and you say, okay, well, these people got it for this amount, it's not going to work for you. So there is sort of a baseline. But when Winnebago Revel asks for, let's say, I'm going to just throw a number out there, $159,000, no. It is not $159,000. Don't even think that. Go way, way below and go for what you are willing to pay. And we're getting nothing out of this, you guys. We are not being, what do you call it?
Sponsored.
Sponsored by Guarantee Auto. We're not being sponsored by any of this. We had such a good experience that we're willing to say good things about them, because they didn't give us a discount on this, because we're willing to say good things about them on YouTube.
Yeah, She has a really good point. Every person's negotiating style is different. Our negotiation was 2 hours. I mean, it went for a long time. We were very patient. We knew what we wanted. We made a checklist before we ever looked at anything, even though the only purpose of us going down there to begin with was to look and see what these vans were about. Because our goal, our heart was set on getting a Coachman Galleria.
It was not this.
This wasn't even a consideration. When we first saw videos on this Winnebago Revel, we were like, nah, that's not for us.
Nope. Videos do not do it justice, by the way.
Yeah, we try to show how good this vehicle is, but you can't see that until you actually get in it and you feel it.
That's what we went there to look at. We were just going down there to have fun, and we had no intentions of purchasing this at the time. Okay, so keep that in mind as you're watching our videos too, and you may be asking us questions about financing, etc. We had no idea that this is what we wanted. The dealership knew that we had no idea that this is what we wanted. The dealership knew that we were willing to come back. The dealership knew that we were willing to go somewhere else.
The bottom line is, how did we finance it? One, we worked really hard. Number two, we planned it for a long period of time. Number three, we understood what the investment would take.
Yeah, and we also understand depreciation. You know, we keep hearing from mostly our family, not from you guys, but why would you purchase something that just like loses its value in such a short period of time? Well, guess what? I don't really care about that. You know, we didn't buy this to invest. We didn't buy this to make money. We bought this an investment in our lives. And what we have gained from our purchase hasn't, there's no such thing as depreciation. It's actually appreciation, because without getting into the details, what this has done to our lives is incredible. And there is no dollar sign on what this has done to our lives. So okay, if you have any other questions about that, obviously you know we're not going to talk about bottom lines because there's no point.